Hello everybody and welcome back to more Zero to Hero Guide. It is Tuesday, isn't it? There's a couple of things we get to do on Tuesday. One of which is, well, all the weekly quests get to reset, but you might notice, hey, there's only one of these. It's because I've already done some of them. As well as I've done some delves already this week. So I am going to open up this and show you what I acquired. Let's go into the treasury. So I did all my delves. I did them as feral. It was fun. They went a little better than last time. And I think we got some pretty good stuff here. So this wasn't all from delves. I can't remember exactly. So we have our weapon there. That was the weapon we were previously wearing. I'm going to show you now. So we've got a new weapon and a belt. We went ahead and crafted those. And here, just after we open our vault, I'm going to go show you how to craft. It's pretty simple, but it can be a little confusing if you just don't know it exists, which is I feel like a lot of players don't. So what do we get? We got a helmet, which could be a champion upgrade for our tier helmet. So we're going to definitely hold on to that. We have some hands, which are a sizable increase over our veteran ones. We will probably tierify those using a catalyst. We have some shoulders, which are equal to the ones we're wearing, a little bit worse stats. We'll hold on to, we'll just keep them here for now. We got a trinket. This concoction kiss of death. So the only problem with this trinket's actually a really strong effect, but it's got a 2.5 minute cooldown, which just does not line up with any of our stuff very well at all. We could take a 1 minute or a 30-second or a 2 minute, but no, it's 2.5, so it's not great. And our trinkets here with the ritual knife and waning candle are actually pretty solid. So probably not going to be wearing that for now. We'll hold on to it. So we got this Valor Stone thing. So we passed a threshold, so we no longer on our gear need any more weathered crests. So now we just need to finish out our carved, runed, and gilded crests. But whenever you hit one of those milestones, you get a little packet of 100 Valor Stones. So we'll go ahead and use those. We got a Warbound Until Equipped item. I don't know why I haven't put that in my bank yet. We got some champion wrists, which are like the exact same as the ones we're wearing. A couple item levels higher, though. That's probably worth putting on. I don't see why not. Saves us some upgrades. Cool. And then a cloak, which is the same as the one we're wearing. Both haste verse. Plus, they're both 603. This one has more verse. I don't think that matters too much. The only other thing we got was this Cache of Nerubian Treasures, which we got from doing our 5-time walkings dungeons. It does with my dad and my brother earlier. So we can go ahead and open that up. And we get wrists. So those wrists we just put on got upgraded again. Haste Mastery. I've since learned Feral really likes Mastery and Crit. So we'll be trying to get a lot of Mastery and Crit. A Guardian is like versatility and haste and kind of mastery, and it's kind of weird on the Guardian. We'll put these wrists there with the other ones. So I think it's about time. So we're going to throw tier pieces on both of those, but we should open our vault first. We're going to open the vault as Guardian. So this is your once a week vault. This is a combination of all the things you got to do last week. See, return to the Great Vault in Dornogal to make your selection. So this is going to be from all the things we got last week. We've been unlocking these nodes. We're going to get a choice of one item from them out of here. It's a very sacred time, and wow, Tuesday reset when you get your vault. So here we go. Looks like we have 3 slots unlocked from our whatchamacallit, delves. And it looks like we have 2 slots from dungeons. This one came from heroic dungeons, and then this one was from that mythic +2 we got. So we've got a champion item and a veteran item there. And down here we have 3 hero 3 out of 6 items. So we're definitely probably going to be taking one of these. And I already know what I'm going to be taking, but we can go over this real quick. So when selecting Win Your Vault, you want to think about it a bit. And I'll kind of go through my thought process here. So we have this Concoction Kiss of Death, which we just talked about. Actually has a strong effect. But sounds like a weird timing. And we already have one at a champion level, so that one's only going to be a little bit better than this one if we ever did decide to use that, so we're not going to worry about that. Then we have this Abyssal Trap. Now, if this were another Delve Trinket, I would probably end up taking it because, you know, our one trinket is only a veteran. It's maxed out, though. But this Abyssal Trap is, like, maybe the worst trinket in the game. It's horrible. I mean, you can even look at it. I mean, you can read the numbers on it. It does damage. It does 31,000 damage over 10 every second for 10 seconds, but that's like 300,000 damage. That's like one shred. It ain't the sauce. It ain't the sauce at all. So we are going to go ahead and take this helmet, which is awesome because we were going to be terrifying that other helmet we got. But now this saves us a catalyst charge, which is nice. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. It always makes really sure that you want to get the item you're grabbing. We do. And it's nice that this one is already a tier piece, so yeah, we're going to put that on. Got our keystone back, so we don't need that helmet anymore. What were we going to do? Yes, these hands. So we're going to go down here to the catalyst guy. Zoom on down. We're going to throw these in there. We're going to get some champion hands for our tier piece set. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Put those on over the old veteran ones, and look at that. Before you know it, we're looking kind of pretty at 610 item level. Which of these was I going to keep? Those would be good for Guardian if I wanted them. We don't need that. That's old. Like the same as the thing we're wearing. We have Hero Wrist now, so we don't need those. This is I'm going to throw that in my bank, and then that just got, yeah. That got deprecated by that. So, we can go ahead and vendor these. It's actually usually a pretty smart idea too. And this one was the one we bought off one of those vendors, so we can't sell it. Accidentally tried to trade with that person. You can't see it in my chat box. If you take an item and you drag it and you put it over somebody, it'll try to trade it with them. Although that was not an item that could be traded. Oh yes, I wanted to show. So what we were wearing before I crafted these two pieces was this belt, which went from a 584 to a 619, and our weapon, which was a 606 to our 619 as well. So let me explain what I did there and how I kind of did it. So over here in Dornogal, I'm gonna put the map, show you. Right here in this area, specifically, this little house right here, you will find these crafting orders clerks. There's one outside, there's a couple more inside. You can use any of them you want. I'm already inside, so we'll go ahead and take a look at this. This is where you will consult a website or just have the knowledge or do whatever to learn what you want. So you'll probably be wearing more than 2 crafted items by the end of like a patch because they're just a solid way to get a strong item. But we can go and look at this. So this is the weapon I crafted. So the weapon, remember we were talking about those sparks? I went ahead and used them, so I don't have any more sparks. So it took me 2 sparks, and then it required these materials. But, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. You just buy those materials. But there's a couple of other things. These are the important parts of a crafted item. So crafted items, by default, if you just put a spark in there, will become, I think, at a maximum 606 item level. And that'll, of course, change as the seasons go on and you go on to get into other tiers and whatnot. But a base level craft with just a spark, at least in the current iteration of how the game works, will be the exact same item level as a maxed out, fully upgraded veteran item. So you see we have this veteran item, Shadow Binding Ritual Knife. It's 606. Using what are called enchanted crests. So enchanted crests, you'll find them in this, the Infuse with Power optional reagent. You can see that we have enchanted runed harbinger crests and enchanted gilded harbinger crests. These are also a crafted item, although there's a few ways you can get the runed crests without crafting them, which is how I got them, but we'll get to that in a second. So these are used to increase the level, or the item level of your crafted item, a weapon in this case, to higher than 606. So the runed harbinger crest is the next step up from the, base kind of just using a spark. This one will take it to 619, which is the same item level as a maxed out champion item. Champion being just the level up from veteran. So veteran, champion, maxed out champion, 619. That also is the item level at which runed crests become obsolete. So runed crest, hence the runed harbinger crest, the enchanted runed harbinger crest, will get you to item level 619 on any little item. So if right now I think at this point I do have all champion items I'm wearing, champion and hero, one veteran. There was another veteran. Okay, 2 veteran items. But if you had, say you had all champion and hero items, you could just go farm out a bunch of runed crests and get your item level over here to say 619. Because you could get every piece to 619. And then past that, to get further than that, you would need gilded crest. So we go to the enchanted gilded harbinger crest. This one will take your item to 636. So that's a powerful item. That is only 3 item levels away from the max item level you can get on a piece currently. So if I were to get a myth track pair of, I don't know, pants, right? The myth track pair of pants, when fully leveled up with all the gilded crests it takes to level them up, would be item level 639. But with gilded crests, spark, and some gold, you can craft a 636 item. And these crafted items are pretty special and good for a couple of reasons. One, they can get to about the same power as a normal myth track item, which are a lot harder to come by, right? You can craft specifically the ones you want. So say I need a weapon, you can craft a weapon. As well as, you could customize the secondary stats on it. So instead of looking for, a crit mastery weapon, I could just go ahead and craft a crit mastery weapon. And you change the stats on it by, in these optional reagents, you'll go and buy the Algari missive that coincides with the stats you want. And you got every combination of stats in here. So I ended up making mine crit mastery, which is an Algari missive of the Peerless. So I went ahead and I bought one of those. I bought all these things. I've made my sparks using the fragments. I put in a enchanted runed harbinger crest, which we had picked up from the Renowns. Remember at the beginning when I went around all the vendors and grabbed all that kind of free stuff? I had some enchanted harbinger crest in there that kind of give up for free. All players get at least one for free from doing the quest line, like the story quest line on the way through. At the end, it has you go into the raid. It's like a instanced version of the raid. You just do a super simple fight of the last boss, and it gives you one. So everybody can at least craft one 619 item right off the bat. I'd recommend a weapon if you don't have anything else. And that's all fine and dandy. There is another way to get those enchanted harbinger crests, and that is you can craft them yourself. So if we type in here, enchanted harbinger. Okay, we're going to just type in enchanted. Okay, and you're going to see all of these, and you're like, what the heck is going on? So the enchanted whelplings and the enchanted worms, these things are from the last expansion. So we want the harbinger crests. You wouldn't even be able to craft those anyway. You wouldn't have the stuff. So we have the enchanted ruined and enchanted gilded harbinger crest. So if we wanted to craft an enchanted ruined harbinger crest, it would take some storm dust, some gleaming shards, some refulgent crystals. Those can all be bought off the auction house, as indicated by looking at its thing, and it says there. And then you got this one, a powerful vessel made from ruined harbinger crest, ready to be enchanted. You might think, where the heck is this from? I will show you. And assuming this holds true, I didn't mean to dash back to him. Assuming it holds true, they are always going to be sold by the enchanting supplies vendor. So you could talk to a guard and ask him where the enchanting trainer is, or in Dornogal, it's right over here. You would go up to this person. And in here you see all these nascent Harbinger crests. But to buy them, you'll notice it takes those crests. So in order to craft a 619 weapon, I would have first had to acquire 45 runed Harbinger crests. Essentially, the crests it would take to upgrade the weapon to that item level, right? If you do the math on it, I think it's exactly even of like taking an item from 606 to 619. I think it would be, or no, it wouldn't be 606. It would be which champion 4/8? No, I think it would be. But either way, should be a direct comparison. So instead of actually having to go and get the item, like in getting a champion item or a hero item that you would then take to 619, you could just convert the crest straight into this, use some of your sparks, which later in the season, like we are currently, are pretty abundant. You get quite a few of them because there's catch-up mechanics. And then you can go ahead and craft yourself a 619 item. Same thing goes for Gilded, except it costs 60. So that's actually going to be a source of how we're going to get some powerful equipment on this character. We just got to start getting into some keys where we can get Gilded Harbinger Crest, and then we can craft some 636 items. Although, honestly, to be doing 10s, we're not like too far off of being able to like be a high enough item level to do them. I know that sounds like, whoa, what? I'm 620 and I can't get into keys. It's like, well, true. You may not get invited into them, but like you're probably fine. I mean, if you know what you're doing, I could probably do a 10 right now with a group that was capable. But I don't know. That just kind of depends on who you're playing with. And in pickup groups, I would never get into a 10 at this item level unless I started my own. So there's that. So let's talk about the last kind of final thing when it comes to crafting items. So we know you can spend runes and then power them up, and you can put whatever stats you want on them. Whatever your best ones are. I don't know why I went in here, but the final thing is your embellishment. So you will see on this weapon that at the top, Vagabond's Careful Crutch, goes down, Omen Crafted, item level 619, Transmogrified, Soulbound, all that stuff, but then Unique Equipped Embellished 2. So when you're crafting an item, you have a choice. You don't have to do it. You have a choice of putting one of these embellishments in here on them. And embellishments are kind of like little like special crafted items, but you can only wear 2 of them at a time. So you can see we have these Dark Moon sigils, we got some blessed weapon grips and some captured starlight. It's going to be kind of different for every class, or as it's been, at least in many patches. It's going to be the same for every class. On which ones you end up using. Or similar, like there's always one or two that are like kind of stronger than the rest of them. Although currently none of these are like super strong. So it almost doesn't matter which ones you're wearing as long as you're wearing 2 embellishments. But I went with what is considered right now kind of the strongest combination. So if you are crafting a weapon currently, what you want to have on the weapon is this Dark Moon Sigil Ascension. So that's what I did. I put it on this weapon. And you'll see right there under Enchanted, I went ahead and put one of those nice enchants on it too, that Authority of Radiant Power. So we're putting some damage out with this thing. But it says, Equipped gain Ascendance every 8 seconds spent in combat. Ascendance grants 89 of a random secondary stat for 15 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. So it's just giving you a bunch of random stats. It kind of cycles through them. And you'll see at the bottom, this is a Nerubian embellishment. So that's where our second item comes in. So our second item we crafted was this waistband. And same thing, you'll see Omen Crafted, Soulbound, Unique, whatever, Unique, Equipped, Embellished. So not all crafted items are embellished. It's only embellished if you put one of these embellishments on it. Or if it is an item that is pre-embellished. So there are some special items you can craft, and for For leather wearers, I know there's this one, this Adrenal Surge Clasp. You will see that it's going to require different materials than your typical leather belt. It comes with set stats. You don't get to choose the stats on this one of like critical strike and versatility. And it comes with its own special embellishment on there. So this one gives you, when you take damage, a chance to gain agility and lose mastery. This is the one I'm wearing on my Brewmaster currently, so that's how I know about it. But it's also an Nerubian embellishment, so that's kind of where the second one comes in. So I crafted, for my rune-branded waistguard, I put a writhing armor banding on it, which you can see it reads there, equip, embrace the darkness, double the effects of your other Nerubian embellished item, positive and negative. So, our Darkmoon Sigil Ascendance here is actually doubled. Instead of getting 89, it's going to give 178 of a random stat, stacking up to 10 times. Which is pretty nice, right? And then, because we have those two embellishments, if we were going to craft any other items like I don't know, like a cloak or a necklace or wrist or whatever, we wouldn't put embellishments on those, right? Because you can only wear two. So we've got our two. Cool. I hope that made sense. If you have any more questions about it, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments. But for now, no. We're significantly stronger. So we're at 610 item level. I can't remember what we were last at. But we are starting to get there. Oh, one other thing I was going to mention about like gold. So I've not sent this character any gold at all. When you buy those items for your crafting, so I know an item in one of them is like this. So if I go in here and I look up, so for my weapon I needed codified greenwood. You just open up your auction house, type in the name of the item, and you'll get it in here. You'll see there's a 1-star, a 2-star, and a 3-star. I would say in general, for crafting equipment, you're going to almost always have to buy the 3-star of all the things you're crafting. The only time you would not buy the 3-star is if you have talked to your crafter, the person you're going to have craft it for you. Oh, yeah, we have some more things to talk about, but the only time you're not going to buy a 3-star is when if you've talked to your crafter and they say, hey, yes, you can spend it, you can buy 2-star of that item. I don't think you'll almost ever have to buy, you won't be able to buy 1-star. And yes, it's a steep price difference here. You can see if you needed 10 of these bad boys, looking at 4,300 gold. But you're crafting an item that's going to get you a lot more power, right? So it's worth it. Also, make sure you leave a nice little tip for your crafters. I think I left... on this one, actually, I had one of my other characters craft this one. My Martini character crafted that, and then I had my brother... he is my brother, but his name is not Caddy Bree. My brother Caddy Bree crafted this this waistband for me, and I didn't tip him. So, I mean, I could have, right? I usually tip like 5K, 5,000. At least later on in a patch. Earlier on, when people are just getting their crafting skills up, I know it's like they kind of put in the hard work, so you tip a little more. And to get all that gold. Which, I mean, yeah, say if I spent 5,000 each on these crafts, I'd have like 7,600 gold left. So I'd still be like okay as far as staying afloat. But to get that gold, I mean, you've seen me do a lot of it. Just doing your weekly quests, doing your delves, end up getting you a lot of those little items you can sell. Like the blue profane tinder boxes and all those kind of reagents. Those are good to sell in the auction house, as well as one time per week on your account when you do a bountiful delve, it will give you a... is it a quest? It's an item. It gives you an item that starts a quest. You come in and you turn it over here, and it gives you a bunch of these undercoins. So you can go up to Sir Finley Murgleton here. And assuming you have it unlocked, which I think you should by default. Well, we have enough to buy one right now. I would recommend spending... I mean, there's cosmetics and stuff in here. as well as these 580 items. I think these are, I mean, if you don't care or like desperately need one when you first hit 80, you can spend some of these coins on these. It's fine. I think your best spend coins are on this thing, the Delver's Pouch of Reagents. So let's go ahead and buy one. And let's see what that gives us. We buy that, we open that up, and that gave us 2 Ringing Deeps ingots and 1 vial of Kaheti oils. You might think, oh, what is that? Just 3 random items? Look at this. Go to sell the vial of Kaheti oils, that's 700 gold. 2 Ringing Deeps ingots are both 680 gold. That's 1400 gold almost. You know, we netted we just made 2,000 gold off those just those 3 little items. 500 undercoins. And if you're taking several characters and going and doing a bunch of bountiful delves, you know, spending all your coffer keys that you have on all your characters and doing delves, plus the delves do drop those items naturally, you can make quite a bit of gold. It's like, I've been doing it, like, I just like do 1 delve, like sell those. I mean, like, I kind of like gets you enough gold for your consumables for the week. Or, you know, I kind of guess that depends on how much you play, but I think it's pretty good. Another thing is if you come down here to the blacksmithing vendor, you can look at the prices of all these and see if it's actually worth it. But you can convert any 3 of those 4 items. So Gloomfathom Hide, Vial of Kaheti oils, Viridian Charm Cap, and Ringing Deep ingots. You can convert 3 of those into 1 Profane Tinderbox. And usually it's like a pretty, like, not profitable thing to do. Or it's like it's so close it doesn't matter. Like, you'll get like 3 of these for 600 and this one will be like 1801 or something. Like, you know, like 1 gold difference, so it doesn't really matter. But if you can check this and see the conversions of if it's actually better to convert them into Profane Tinderboxes. I've done that before. Although that's kind of where I came to the conclusion that not the same always. So we've done all that. We've done our time walking. We've done our crafted items. We've got 4 tier set pieces on. We've got solid trinkets. We've got our Cersei circlet all jacked up and ready to go. What do we do now? We do the only logical thing. We quit the game. No. Now it's time to do some more Mythic Plus. Or Raid. The Raid we will see about that. Raiding is a bit interesting sometimes. But for Mythic Plus, what we're going to do... Now, I imagine most people aren't going to form their own groups when you first start playing. So instead of doing that, I'm going to subject you guys and to show you guys that this is how we do a pickup group. This is how you queue for Mythic Plus. I will say as a side note, for the whole series, I won't be pugging or doing pickup groups. I've talked to my friends, and my brother and my dad and all that stuff, and we're thinking about all switching and playing roles we don't normally play. So like, my dad might tank and have one of our other friends heal, and then our normal healer do DPS, and just try to get like Keystone Hero and doing that and messing around on alts. So that could be a fun time. But in the meantime, let's see if we can't get a key in. And this could take a second, and honestly, I haven't queued for +2s. And I'm just going to do a +2 just to like show you guys kind of how it works. I haven't queued for a +2 in like at all. I don't think I've queued for a +2 at all this season, so we may not be able to find one. But what you do is you open up your group finder. You go to Dungeons and Raids, and then you go to Pre-Made Groups. And you're going to go to the Dungeons tab, and you're going to hit Find a Group. And in here, you're going to be bombarded with a bunch of numbers. So what you're going to do is, I would say, target a key level or a specific dungeon. And it says right here, enter a key range. So I would like to do anything from a 2 to a 2, right? So, and here we go. Looks like we have some +2 dungeons ready to go. I don't know why there's an 11 here. That shouldn't be there. But you can see on the UI it shows this one has a tank and 2 DPS, this one has a healer and a DPS. We got a tank here. Let's try to maybe get into one of these 2 keys. So I would like to try and join one of these keys. So how you go about that is you go ahead and press on it. And you're going to sign up. You're going to choose the role you want to play. I'd like to play a Feral Druid. I'm going to hit sign up. And we're going to see if they accept us or not. But I don't know if they will. So I'm also going to queue up for this one. I've been accepted. So we're getting into a +2 City of Threads. We'll go ahead and hit accept. And that is going to put you into a group with these people. One thing I recommend you do right away, and this is a tester. Down here in the party chat, which you can't see, I'm going to say hello. And if people talk back, odds are you're in good hands. The group probably won't be toxic and they'll be pretty good. One guy says, hey. Sometimes you'll get into a group, you'll say hello, and then nobody says anything. And that's how you know you got a bunch of weird little gamers fuming in their chairs. And the second anybody messes up, they're going to blow up and be like, rah, 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 you know, little nerds. How they are. And then you get to make fun of them because it's funny, right? That's what I do. We'll see if I run into any any little nerds hanging out in their chairs. See, me, I'm very much, I mean, I'm a nerd, but I'm not like I'm not toxic, you know. I'm just I like playing the game. I understand people come from different like levels of play. Like not everybody is like a grandmaster god gamer, right? Like I mean, I've done things in WoW that like many players don't get to do. Like, I mean, I've gotten a couple cutting edges. There are some of the streamers you guys watch, if you watch WoW streamers, have never gotten a cutting edge. Not even close. Some of them have. Some of them have gotten it so long that and gotten halls of fame in so many tiers that they think me saying cutting edge is an achievement is funny. But that's just kind of how that's just how it works. You know, there's very different levels of this game. I don't think I'm like the best player by any means at all. But the fact that I've gotten a cutting edge, well, a couple of cutting edges, kind of just goes to show that I mean, that slots you into a percentage of the population. I believe it's less than 1% that end up getting cutting edge. Maybe it's more. I don't actually know on that one. So we have gone to the dungeon. I know where this dungeon is, so I flew here. But once you're here, see, we're still waiting on a tank here. And maybe this tank will come around anytime soon. Maybe everybody will get bored and leave before the tank comes around. I don't know. You never do know. But in the meantime, I'm going to hang out right outside the dungeon so that if we do get anybody, or if people need it, we can summon them using this summoning stone, which we'll get to in just a second. But yeah, going into this +2 key, I mean, it's a +2 this late in the season. We can very much expect that these players are not like... These people aren't going to be the best. It's like apparent. They're doing 2s late in the season. This guy's done a 2. I, by all means, it looks like I've only done 1 2, even though I have done, I've done 12s, you know, but they can't see that because I don't have this character on my Raider.io, which is the add-on, remember, that shows your kind of score. But many a times, doing Mythic Plus is waiting. If you don't have friends. I'm telling you, like I said earlier on in the season, get some friends. It makes the game so much more enjoyable. I mean, imagine having to talk to strangers all the time when you play. I mean, if I wanted to, I could probably turn these strangers into friends. You know, talk with them in chat and be like, hey guys, how you doing? Slow night tonight, right? And, you know, they talk back, and then before you know it, you're like, hey, you want to add each other as friends? Add them as friends. You log on tomorrow. Hey, maybe they're on at the same time. You message them. Hey, want to do some dungeons or whatever? They're like, oh, sure. And then before you know it, you're friends. Before you know it, you're at each other's weddings. Oh, looks like we have gotten a tank. So I'm gonna say hello. I'm gonna do just a little wavy hand guy. And then it's time to summon. Maybe. Okay, well, to use the summoning stone, you need 2 people. And we only have 1 people. Senstus is coming, though. Senstus is an Azralon gamer, which I believe is from Brazil. Ragnaros, I believe, is primarily Mexico. Stormrage is America's. Smolderthorn, I've never heard of. Trying to decipher what he said in the chat. He just said save? Ah, yes, Senstus has arrived. So I'm going to target the person I want to summon and then just click on the stone. That's all you do. And then he just clicks on me. There we go. Looks like these 2 guys are already inside the dungeon. Yeah. So we just had to summon him. So we're going to step inside the dungeon and get ready to go. So how Mythic Plus works is, probably saw it on the video where I did the breakdown. You put in a keystone and then it starts a timer and then you're off to the races. What we want to do before that timer, comes around is we'll use our buffs. So we're going to use this one. We'll use a flask and we'll use a food buff. The food buff, you got to eat for 10 seconds before it applies. So make sure you don't move or you'll waste it. Boom. Now we're all buffed up. Now the only other buff we have to have is make sure that Mark of the Wild is on all of our companions. And our shaman here has given us all Sky Fury. The hunter doesn't have one. The paladin, he has a passive one, Devotion Aura, that gives everyone damage taken reduction. It also looks like our shaman has given us an Earth Shield. No, he's moving it around. Okay. And they started the.
Now you learn.
Sometimes you get a countdown, sometimes you don't.
Of the void.
You never know. Looks like everyone's gonna mount up here. We can just go into. He says good luck, have fun. My guy, this is a teamwork. It's not like you're gonna disappear. So we are gonna go into our cat form and we're gonna get ready to do damage. I'm gonna stealth up first. We're coming in. And now we're using Incarn. I'm stunned. I'm gonna use a defensive. Make sure this guy stays kicked. We want to direct most of our damage at this big guy. And you can see on the damage meters, we're doing it. Zote is strong. Big opener from the Zote. What's everyone's item level? Pally's 599, 591, 601. So we have a sizable whatchamacallit increase over these guys. We're gonna kick that guy. We're gonna focus our damage into this Eye of Ansarek, or this guy here, because he has kicks, and in these lower keys we know that people are not gonna be the best at kicking. So we're gonna, I'm stunned by an effect there.
The void consumes everything.
Ah, yes, and we get another one of these affixes. So we as a druid are able to use our Dispel to get rid of the affix on ourselves. We're gonna kick this guy. Sorry, I'm not used to the playing and talking at the same time when I'm trying to focus up and do big damage. So we definitely want to fight this Ansurek guy first. So we're gonna get in here. We're gonna kick him right off the bat. Oh, looks like one of our other people have pulled aggression here. Tank, you need to pull aggro on that guy because I want to go kill him. Okay, here we go. He's coming in now. Now we're gonna use our Incarn. Or our Convoke, it's not Incarn. We're gonna step out and pause. Good. We're gonna kick that.
Inevitably, the
Use some
void
heals on ourselves.
consumes everything.
Use our Dispel on ourselves because of the affix. So this affix applies a debuff to all of the people on your team. And you gotta use either healing or a Dispel to get rid of it. Alright, and then we got our first boss fight. Let's see if people end up doing this correctly. So this boss fight, you have to stay within his little circle here. I got a debuff on me, so I'm going to just step out and pause. Try not to move too much so that I don't get hit. Okay, after this AoE, he's going to move. And drop some poop. We want to make sure we're on the side that our tank has pinged. Or, in general, the side that most people go to, which is this way. Wow, that guy keeps lining up. Okay, so our healer should be dispelling one of those there. So that they don't both go off at the same time, but it's a 2. Like I said, we can't expect everybody to know how to do these fights the most proper and optimal way.
The void consumes everything.
And you'll notice here, my damage isn't so great on this boss fight. I mean, I was like tied for first, but I should be well above it. And that is because we never got our damage during that boss fight. And it feels really bad sometimes. Looks like our healer's not using his Dispel to get those off of people. Maybe he is, but other people aren't using theirs. Tank is up here doing his thing. Let me go ahead and... I'm rooted. I'm gonna just Convoke this guy. Oh, you know what? I was trying to help people out with my Dispel. I don't even have it on a mouse over macro, so I was only dispelling myself all the time. I can fix it, I just gotta know I gotta target him. I believe it's gonna be around the front. It is. Oh no, our friend, so this part, you need to follow these little ghosty things and not walk into the area of these priests or else they will get you. Our tank is already inside. He has run in a little bit early. He seemingly made a thing that we got cut off by.
Inevitably, the void consumes everything.
Gonna use our Dispel. And you see, this is what you're gonna run into with some of these groups. They're very uncoordinated. You know, we got healers who aren't so great at healing, tanks who aren't so great at tanking. And that's kind of why I wanted to go into this as a DPS, just to show you guys that, yeah, unfortunately, healers and tanks are pretty important. There's not a whole lot I can do. I cannot live these mobs if they attack me. I cannot heal all my teammates. The best thing I can do is a lot of damage. So the awareness on these players, as we're starting to notice, you know, as we play, kind of low. Like I said, it's a 2. And people get frustrated. They're like, "Oh, why does he not know how to do the thing?" It's like, well, just, honestly, some of these guys may not have ever done this dungeon before. Or like once on a heroic, right? So, cut them some slack. Also another thing, it's a +2. We could wipe 5 times and still time this dungeon. So nobody's key is in danger of being bricked. Bricked is when you well, you either leave it or you don't time it. So we gotta wait for our tank pal to get back. He's coming. He's on his big hound here. I believe in you, sir. He's made it. Here he comes. We got big damage for this pull. I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna incarn. And big damage we did do. Look at that. 1.78 million to everyone else's like 600,000 is, I would say, pretty effective. And that's kind of what we do as Feral Druid. We burst pretty hard. I guess it should also, I mean, well, like I said before, I do have a little bit of item level over these guys. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 or so-ish. 10 to 20 really, I guess is what it is. Which is quite a bit, but that means it's going to be back here. See, they're taking a long way around. I know the shortcuts. Wait for them all to spawn, and then we're gonna shoot.
Inevitably,
Get all our bleeds
the
up.
void consumes everything.
Gonna kick that. Use our dispel on ourselves. Keep using our bite procs. We're gonna use our roar there to stop that. What did I did not go into bear form. What did I press to go into bear form? I don't know. I lost a lot of damage there. I'm trying to use attacks. I did shift my keyboard mid-pull there. Okay, so you know, I'm not like focusing the hardest on doing the best work here. To those of you who are like, oh, he's messing. Well, yeah, look, it's a 2. I'm really trying to more focus on the explanation of how, you know, playing with other players can be. Everyone knows how to stand in line here. Gotta queue up, get into the boss room. This is a boss up here. A lot of RP in this dungeon, so quite a bit of downtime between pulls. I would say send your cooldowns whenever they're up, because you got a minute between each of them. So this boss fight is a 2-target boss fight. So we are going to be using our damage. I'm gonna wait a second. I want to get them both with these rips. I'm gonna wait for them to get stacked up. Yep. Put that on him. Do this. Get that out, and then we're incarning. Right here, we're going to get a damage proc, so I'm going to do that and go into bear form and hit a rage regeneration before going back into cat. This part, you kind of just dodge them. If you bait them into the wall here, they will, whatchamacallit, they'll like bounce off the wall and you can get better uptime on them.
The void consumes everything.
I'm gonna stay with our tank here. So that white swirly there, you actually want to stay in. Because it helps you tank. We get stacked up so we can hit them with our rips. Just dodging frontals and doing 2 target cleave rotation here is all I'm doing.
The void consumes
We killed him.
Everything.
Came out of that fight over 1,000,000 DPS, so to all the haters, that's what Feral be doing. I'm gonna dispel this guy when it comes off cooldown. I got him. Now let's see how big our tank's gonna go here. Tanks do like to be pulling big here, cause well, it's good. Looks like he's going kind of big, so we're gonna let our tank get everything rounded up here. They're coming, they're coming. We're gonna kick this guy when he casts, just to help him get in. Good, now we're doing damage. Keeping all our bleeds up. Now we're getting bites. Oh, whenever you hear the little bite noise, that means I get a free ferocious bite. If you hear it a lot, that means I'm doing a lot of damage. Kick this guy so that he comes down towards the tank.
Inevitably, the void consumes everything.
And we're just using our damage abilities to... you know what it was before? When I use my my incapacitating roar, it makes it to where I turn into bear form. Okay, that's right. I forgot about that. Not bad. Gonna cleanse this poison off myself, because I have the powers to do that. That enemy died quickly. I believe our shaman had some damage there. It's the shaman enhancement. That is currently the highest damage spec in the game. We'll see if I beat him in the end. Spoilers. I will. But it's because of item level. Right? It's all just item level.
Inevitably, the void consumes everything.
I was going to use my Incarn here. I've decided against it. And by Incarn, I mean Berserk. It will always mean the Berserk. But I think I'm going to save it for the boss fight. How'd we get that guy? I'm gonna ping this enemy. Somebody seems to have stepped on the web things and
Everything.
another Dispel coming in, which is actually kind of nice because these are the Kiss Curse affixes I was talking about. They give you a critical strike and max health. Very good for doing crit things. And we're gonna just do a big Convoke here. So on this boss, you want to soak the little balls that are coming in. It looks like somebody else is soaking a lot of them. I can get some on myself. I have a regrowth I can throw. Ooh, and I finish him off with a 1 point, or a 4 point, what was that?
Action can be messy, but worthwhile in the end.
That was big. It did like 4 million damage.
Consistent. For you, a reward. Witness the unparalleled wonder of transformation.
That guy will die. He's coming.
Inevitably.
We can just flip into bear form to...
Everything.
Oh, we don't want to pull the other guy, though. So these mobs are usually pretty hard. The +2, they'll be less hard. And everyone gets rooted there, but we can just go into our bear form and get out of it. This is the hard one right here. This guy is a problem. We're getting so many bites though, he's gonna just fall over pretty quickly if I had to take a guess. Also, I did not defensive that when I should have. I'm not being a very good gamer right now. I'm focusing a little too much on my damage, but you know, in a 2, besides doing mechanics properly, it's kind of what you should focus on.
In my collection.
'Cause if you can do your damage without thinking, surely you can do everything else.
Witness the glory.
We're just getting in there.
Consider
The void consumes everything.
That guy got hit by. We did not break him out. He also was positioned kind of poorly. In this fight, you kind of, I know it sucks for casters, you kind of want to stay all stacked up on the boss. Send a defensive and a regrowth here. Follow it up with a frenzied regen. We're dodging all these balls, which we don't know where they're coming from. Stay out of the tank buster here.
Inevitably, the void consumes everything.
And there you have it. A Mythic Plus dungeon completed.
Ansarek will be absolutely furious when she learns of Izo's
Oof.
demise. I can't wait to witness it.
Crit verse necklace. You know, I don't really need this, so I'm going to go ahead and ask the group. Oh. GSTV has asked if I need the neck. You know what? I actually don't. There you go, sir. You can have that. I'm a no problem kind of guy. We'll hit him with the GG. We'll go ahead and leave the party. Some people like to re-queue, but those guys seem like they're all getting out of there. And then we're going to hit our little Hearthstone. Head on back to Dornogal. And there we have it. Oh, this thing pops up if you're not in the group when you're in an instance. Let's do a little review of our damage throughout that dungeon. So we didn't even play our damage very well. We ended up there at 1.04 million. I would say as kind of a baseline to start timing 10s. You're like pretty healthily always over 1 million. You can time 10s. Like if everyone in your group does over 1 million DPS, no problem. So off that, I'll say right there, I am ready for a 10. Will I get into a group if I type in chat, I'll do over 1 million DPS. You have to invite me. Nobody's gonna take that. 610 item level, they're gonna see that. They're gonna see Feral Druid, they're gonna be like, no. Squishy class, little under item level, no shot. But I bring Mark of the Wild, good buff. But yeah, here we go. That was a fairly successful dungeon. I'm curious, how many people died? We only had 3 deaths. What was this to? He got hit by a frontal. And then he just got unfortunately casted on and nobody kicked it. I probably could have helped out there. Then he got hit by the Tremor Slam while he was low, so kind of on him. Kind of on the healer. Kind of depends on if you used a defensive or not. I don't really have any way of checking that. It looks like he was getting healed, so... yeah, unfortunate. It happens. That's a tough boss fight. Seemed like our healer was doing fine. Just, yeah. He was also, I think, the lowest item level. No, he was 601. I mean, he was like kind of on par with all the other... no, they were 592. Yeah, he just kind of flopped. Enhancement Shamans aren't known to be the tankiest class. But there we have it. A +2 dungeon. Our weekly fault grabbed. I'm not looking to make this this video too long today. Like, I'm not going to sit here and chain queue for dungeons. I might at some point do a couple more 2s. Maybe break into a couple higher keys. Maybe tomorrow or sometime this week I'll be recording some videos with my friends, playing little alts. Take a bunch of rat characters into like a +10 or something. That'll be cool. So there's more to come. Still on our journey. And yeah. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.